I would say that what Joe is doing makes sense in the near term. I mean, I have no problem with trimming some Amazon. We trimmed some Twilio, we trimmed some Home Depot. But the broader question is, do these stocks, the type that Jeff Gundlach has talked about, which I don't think he was buying in March and wasn't suggesting that people buy at the low in March, are they overpriced right here? How do we feel about that? Let's look at a chart I had Vinny put together for me. It shows growth versus value stocks since the beginning of the year. And you can see there's been a dramatic outperformance of growth versus value. Growth for the first 5 months has a relative outperformance of 19%, so 1,900 basis points. And in June, it's lost 250 basis points. So still massive outperformance. And that's for good reason, because these stocks have shown us through the coronavirus that they've been able to bring in clients. They have accelerated whatever freight train they were on that moved people to adoption. That has accelerated. It has shown that during an extreme panic and a serious economic downturn in all ways, that people still use platforms. They use the digital connection. And they've been able to provide, whether it's PayPal and payment service or connections through Facebook or Amazon, because you've bought things on it. That is why those stocks have had the kind of performance they have. Had they gotten a little ahead of themselves, that's possible. Do they need to correct a lot? Well, I don't know what a lot is. I mean, we have corrections all the time in markets, and I would assume that we're due to have some correction, and perhaps they'll underperform value for a month or so, but every time people have pointed to the rotation, it has not survived.
Right.
And the drivers of growth have continued.
Steve Weiss, Jefferies today grows more cautious on tech. They take the entire tech sector to a market weight. A call and a move like Joe's today is not an easy one to make, especially when it comes with a stock like Amazon, right? It's almost an equivalent of doing this with an Apple, which is, it's unpopular. It's a hard thing to do, to get out of one of these high-flying stocks. But I'm wondering, is it time to take some profits in some of these other names? And if so, which ones?
Well, first of all, I love the way Joe's looking at it. And it really depends. And the direct answer to your question is, it's never a wrong thing to take profits. Most people tend to sell their losers and don't live with them as they come back. I'm looking at taking exposure down a different way, and it's not in tech, frankly, because tech has been performing not only from a stock standpoint. That's not what I'm really focused on. It's performing from a fundamental standpoint, and I think we're going to see the division continue to grow.
Yeah, but you don't think...
The FANG stocks...
Hold on a second. Right. So you don't think that... Look, I mean, everybody knows why these stocks have run up the way they have in the pandemic, right? It makes perfect sense. But that doesn't mean that the moves themselves are fully justified in terms of the magnitude. Fundamentally, you can build a case as to why they performed the way they did, but can you really make a fundamental case as to why Amazon is up 40% since the low, or a Facebook is up 60%, or that Apple's up nearly 60%, or that Alphabet's up 40%?
No. But let me tell you why I'm staying there. And I can't tell you I'll be there in another few days, but I'll tell you why I'm there now. I think I will be, is because the stocks are ahead of themselves. So when stocks get ahead of themselves, yeah, you can think about selling, but if I can envision a time when they catch up, when the fundamentals catch up to the prices, and I still want equity exposure because I think it's going higher, those are the ones I'm going to own. Now, that catch-up period has to be within 6 months to a year. If it's not, what am I going to, then I'll get out. But right now, I'm not going to sell them. If they're 20% overvalued and I've got to pay taxes on extraordinary gains, then I'm behind the 8 ball. So I'm willing to see those stocks trade down a little bit, again, if the future is as bright as I think it is.